Are you in the middle of one of the hardest times in your life? Does it feel like life is beating you up? Trouble is coming on every side, and when you think you see the light, something pulls you back down. You know there's more, so much more, and you are ready for life to stop pulling you back or start pushing you forward. I know you might be thinking, others get the breaks in life, but never me. But I'm going to show you something important today. In fact, this is how you go from feeling like it won't work for you, like it does for everyone else, to it's definitely working for me every time. I'm going to show you something in the Bible that will transform your mind. This is how everything you do begins to succeed. There's nothing more special about me than you. We are both created uniquely in God's image. The difference is, I believe the Bible has all the answers to every problem you have. So I go looking for the solutions for myself and share them with you because they work. I've been reading the Bible for years and I love reading. I've loved reading from as young as I can remember. I remember being in primary school and I'm about 6-7 years old. I was talking to one of my brothers about this recently. I was talking about how most schools are like a factory with an assembly line set to create robots. Go to work for 8 hours, get paid, go home, watch TV for a couple of hours and then repeat for 40 years. Go to school, work for 8 hours, go home, watch TV for a few hours, repeat for like 12 years, then get promoted to work. It's a factory. I didn't plan to go this deep that fast, but once you see it, you can never unsee it. But I was saying to my brother how one of the good things I got from school was my passion for reading books. And this is something worth millions. In my school, they created this thing called free readers. Free readers could read any book they liked in the library. And I wanted to read any book in the library. To become a free reader, you have to read a certain amount of level 1 books, then level 2 books, and so on. I think it went to like level 8 or 9, and then you become a free reader. So I'd start reading these books about these people. Biff and Chip were their names. Some of the books were easy, and then some of the books were not as easy. But I wanted to be a free reader, so that's all I cared about. No matter what book they put in front of me, I read it. And after going through the levels, I did it. I was a free reader. I could now read any book in the library. I could read any book. As I told this story to my brother, I started questioning if it really was school that gave me that passion. I'm not sure about any story before this in life that started me down this track, but as much as I loved reading books, as I got older, I stopped reading books. I started playing more games and life went in a different direction. I may read one book here and one book there over the years, but nowhere like the amount I planned to as a free reader. I would go through seasons, but one book I read, I must have been around 19, was The Wolf of Wall Street by Jordan Belfort. Belfort was a stock trader who went to prison for running an illegal stock firm. He had now left prison and was turning his life around. I was a trader, and this is how I guess I stumbled into his world, the wonderful world of YouTube. But this was before the movie. This was before loads of people knew who he was. It's one of the reasons I never watched the movie. The book was so fascinating, I knew the movie could never do it justice. At least that's what I believed. But I watched some of his videos. Something he said has stuck with me ever since. He's doing these seminars and he would say to the crowd, "All right, everybody raise your hands as high as you can, really high in the air." Do it. Raise your hand as high as you can in the air. Then you'd see people put their hands up, and after a few seconds, he'd say, "Now, just raise it a little higher." He used to do that to show people that there's more they can do. They're not really doing their best. They're holding back. And as he said that, the thought dawned on me. I didn't reach as high as I could. I knew it deep down in my soul, and I couldn't escape it. If most people did their actual best, they'd be in a totally different situation. It'd only be a matter of time before things changed. But the truth is, your best is not enough. Not enough to reach your full potential. So Israel, if you're saying do your best, but your best isn't enough, what's the point? Why should I give my best? I'll tell you, I was reading this passage in the Bible last year, and it really helped me overcome some big hurdles. It helped me finally, after years of being afraid, start this channel and share this content. It helped me reach even higher than I was doing before, and it will help you overcome every obstacle in your way. This isn't the book of Chronicles. This is a book all about the history of the kings in Israel. Most people never read these books, and when I say that, I want you to know I'm talking about Christians. Christians skip this book. Many Christians see a book like Chronicles in the Bible like vegetables on your plate as a child. Most people know or have heard of King David before. the man who slayed Goliath with a stone and a slingshot. After that, David was a legend. He becomes king and he goes out and fights wars for his country, but more specifically for his God. Some of these battles were not easy. On one occasion, David has a friend who dies. He's a king in another place, and he sends some men to show respect. This king's son gets bad advice, and he shaves off the beards of the men sent by David. And if you thought that was disrespectful, it gets worse. He ordered his men to cut the clothes down the back so their bums are visible. This was like spitting in someone's face. Ultimate disrespect. How are you going to cut a man's clothes so people can see his bum? But it always makes me wonder why hospitals will give patients overalls that look the same. Anyway, David hears about this and it's war. Picking up at 1 Chronicles chapter 19, it says, "And when David heard, he sent Joab and all the host of the mighty men. He sent his top guys." Joab was the head of David's army. He's a sick dude. And the mighty men were guys you did not want to mess with. You think someone like John Wick was serious? He had nothing on David's mighty men. This was a battle David couldn't afford to lose. But look at what the next verse says. "And the children of Ammon came out and put the battle in array before the gate of the city. And the kings that were come were by themselves in the field. So David's men come out. The king sends his people out to the gate of the city, and they are ready to fight. They are not backing down. They teamed up with some other kings to wipe out King David's men." In verse 10 it says, "Now when Joab saw that the battle was set against him before and behind, he chose out all of the choice of Israel and put them in array against the Syrians. At that moment, Joab realized things were against him. They're outmatched. His best was not good enough, but he didn't give up. He still had confidence. I'll show you why, but first, he sends the soldiers out to fight. But look at what he does next. And the rest of the people he delivered unto the hand of Abishai his brother, and they set themselves in array against the children of Ammon. He goes with a group to fight one army, and the other group he sends to his brother to fight the other army. Why would a man who sees things don't look good still go out to fight? Most people think that's crazy, but the few, those I call winners, know that there's no other option. He says to his brother Abishai, "If the Syrians be too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the children of Ammon be too strong for you, then I will help you. Be of good courage, and let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people and for the cities of our God. And let the Lord do that which is good in his sight." The reason you can have courage in the face of trials, the reason you can behave valiantly, be determined, is because God will do what is good in his sight. Jordan Belfort says, "Reach a little higher because you can." I say do your best and let God do the rest. God didn't put you here to lose. He didn't create you to lose. This is why I walk with confidence that everything I do is certain to win. Everything I do is working for my good, no matter how it looks. It says next, "So Joab and the people that were with him drew close before the Syrians unto the battle, and they fled before him. Joab and his men took out the first group." You see, one of the reasons the system doesn't want you to start is because the moment you realize, though big, the obstacle in front of you is defeated, it's over. Then it says, "And when the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, they likewise fled before Abishai his brother and entered into the city. Then Joab came to Jerusalem. One army fell, then the other one was afraid and ran away." The moment you step forward and start moving, things are going to change. But don't allow something negative that happens to trick you. When you take a step forward in the right direction, it seems like things get worse. Something happens, an unexpected bill, loss of income, strained relationships. That is the distraction that most get distracted by. My wife woke up the other morning and she was sore from the day before. "My thigh, my arm, it's all hurting." And I'm like, it's all getting stronger. You are getting stronger. It's the same thing I tell myself. I don't focus on the pain, because pain is always coming after you push forward. I focus on the prosperity. That's why it shouldn't surprise you what happens next. "And when the Syrians saw that they were put to the worse before Israel, they sent messengers and drew forth the Syrians that were beyond the river. And Shophak, the captain of the host of Hadarezer, went before them. They sent in reinforcements that were bigger and badder." This is not when you run away. This is when you look at the obstacle that you've just overcome and you charge forward to victory. You take your step closer to winning. And it was told David, and he gathered all Israel and passed over Jordan and came upon them and set the battle in array against them. So when David had put the battle in array against the Syrians, they fought with him. Like David's enemies had more, David had more, and you have more. You can reach a little higher. You can do your best and let God do the rest. But the Syrians fled before Israel, and David slew of the Syrians 7,000 men, which fought in chariots, and 40,000 footmen, and killed Shophak, the captain of the host. Down goes Frazier. And when the servants of Hadarezer saw that they were put to the worst before Israel, they made peace with David and became his servants. Neither will the Syrians help the children of Ammon anymore. After the pain, there's prosperity and peace waiting for you, so go get it. These hard times in life, these obstacles, these painful situations will not stop you. Do your best and let God do the rest. Go win, and God bless winners.